All right, what's happening, guys? Tim's got a YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? Clap, clap, clap. I'm assuming you're clapping. Click, like, subscribe, share, do all those good things. We're doing a movie review today. I've been doing older movies. I like older movies. I feel like people don't watch older movies enough, so they need that information. I'll be dropping a Driving Miss Daisy review very soon. You need this information, man. You need this information. They're good movies. They're good movies. I will also be very clear when the movies are bad. That last Doctor Strange, that review isn't the best. I was kind of at work it just had to get something off my chest. That was more of an emotional reflection of Doctor Strange. Magic and zombies and superheroes. It's a lot. So, I'm not endorsed or sponsored by anybody yet. I'm sure it's coming though. So, today we're going to be doing Everything Everywhere All at Once. Michelle Yeoh. Gosh, I cannot remember this guy's name. I want to say it's Yi or Key. I'm not going to be inappropriate with my assumptions of people's foreign names. I'm just going to say that he was Data. I don't know if you remember that. He was Data in Goonies as a child star. He killed it. And then he was also Short Round in the Indiana Jones series. I wish I was confident enough to say his name correctly. I don't want to say it incorrectly and get it wrong and sound like a fucking racist. So, yes, you can just sound like one now. You don't even have to do the stuff. You can just sound like one. So I watch all these reaction stories. So I'm becoming more consistent with YouTube. You're welcome. You're going to get a decent product now. Something that doesn't linger. Something that has some depth. I'm different than everybody. Trust me. So, I'm watching these reactions. They've got so many reactions, and people watch all this shit. They've got this one couple. What is their page? I don't know if can I promote their page this way? Iman Snow. She's got 219,000 subscribers. Now, I have, 100. So, I look at these people and I try to see, what are they doing different? I don't like a lot of it. As I'm sure you probably looked at this and you're like, I don't like this motherfucker either. So I get it. Everybody has a flavor. Like in this situation where they're watching Everything All at Once, there's tears at the end. Don't get me wrong. It's mad emotional. And if that part of your life has touched something like that, I can imagine that you might get a little touched, little affected by that. I gotta go pass out flyers. I got a comedy show coming up tomorrow, and I still have like a handful of flyers that I got to pass out, and I just want to get it off because I don't want to have flyers and say, oh, those 30 people could have come. I know you don't give a fuck about that, but every time I pass out a flyer, people are like, you look funny. And I'm like, all right, thanks. So Everything Everywhere All at Once. So you got Michelle Yeoh. Michelle, see? Exactly. The lady from, hold on. Here we go. That's better. The lady from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I'm pretty sure that's the name of that. She's in it. The young lady from I don't know if you watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel, but this young lady is the love interest of Maisel's ex-husband, the Chinese love interest there. It's kind of funny how when you look at everything in foreign films and you make all these assumptions about people's culture and race and things like that, but of course the movie depicts them as a Chinese family. There's a couple of Vietnamese people in here. There's everybody's not Chinese, guys, just so you know. But it is about a family who it starts off with a family who owns a laundromat. And they're going through family struggles. The young lady, the daughter, who is played by the... I gotta figure out these names. Like, maybe I should write them down before I get here. If I wrote them down, I'd just fuck them up. I'd read them and then fuck them up. So, watch the fucking movie. But she's going through a struggle. Of course, dealing with her sexuality. That is something that is a real big subject matter in most of the movies that we see now. That's what it is. I wish it was something else. But these are issues. Listen, when you're young, you are concerned. You are trying to figure out your sexuality situation. You're trying to figure out who you want to do it to, how you want to do it, if you want to do it, all those things. You're thinking about doing it. So it makes sense that somebody between the ages of 15 and 25 would be trying to come to terms with that. That's not crazy at all. So it's subject matter that goes with the social structure of what's going on in our community. And of course, her traditional Chinese mother who left China and came to America to open up a laundromat, has got some issues with that. It's a generational thing. So that, of course, is a conflict. That's a conflict. Very early on in the movie, the husband is trying to find a way to present divorce papers to his wife. So that's another conflict that you see before we even get into what the movie's about. Now, I'm okay with letting you know what the movie's about because there's reactions to it. I didn't even know you could do that. Like, I'm looking at all these YouTube videos, and come to find out, I can just have a screen where I play most of the movie and just sit around and walk through it with you. Based on the views that I see and things like that, I have no idea how anybody receives any kind of information or entertainment. I have to assume that everybody has their thing and they go to their thing. I hope that I'm your thing. At least for, 5 minutes or however long it takes for YouTube to let me know that I'm a real person. Right? So in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, you have the dad, also, like I said, played by Data. Come to find out, I go through his whole bio. He's been doing, he's been a stunt coordinator for so many other movies. Of course, he's still been working as an actor, but that's the blessing of having a stunt coordinator as an actor, is that he can do both. He can be the real person. The movie gets action packed in a hurry. You see the in-home conflicts. He is clearly not happy in his marriage. His mother is trying to cater to a sick and very an old, I don't know if he's sick, an old and very demanding father from China, and the daughter is trying to deal with the mother, who is an overbearing parent, much like her father was. And it kind of goes with the whole stereotype, or that whole narrative, that all Asian parents are overbearing. It's not a bad thing to want great things for your kid. Some parents, some cultures handle that differently. I know West Indians handle it differently. My family being West Indian, we have a lot of financial people and medical people. Lots of nurses, lots of people who work in the banking industry. It's kind of a thing that the West Indians do. Lots of nurses. So you see that kind of happen. Now, what you have to understand about this movie, and everybody seems to think like it's some kind of confusing ass movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It sounds like a lot. So basically, it goes into a situation where you are if you're familiar with the metaverse, still same term being used, metaverse. You have the universe, which is out here, and then you have the metaverse, multiverse. Sorry, not the metaverse. The metaverse is something imaginary that Facebook's going to make money off of years from now. The multiverse, I apologize, is going to be what really pushes this. I know Marvel has really jumped into the whole multiverse. It's the only way that you can make sense of all these goddamn characters. You need several different universes for this shit to happen correctly. You know? People don't know. People upset about the next Black Panther. They're gonna have to bring him from another universe. He probably white on that universe. You know, shit. But the multiverse is the concept that there are many different versions of you, and those many different versions have a different path, have a different life. They might speak Spanish. They might be in cartoon form. I believe the Spider-Man multiverse, the animated movie that was so amazing, really introduced people to the concept that there were different versions of them. This is what the movie does: everything, everywhere, all at once. That's exactly what it is. It's a multiverse movie. Now, the concept is very amazing, and if you can wrap your head around that concept, you can really embrace the idea. Now, I love movies like this. I love interdimensional kind of vibes where you're yourself somewhere else doing something else, but you're still yourself. I love that kind of vibe. I understand it. I hope that I'm just the worst version of me and there's another version of me doing way better. But when you watch it, you completely understand. It's explained even in the movie that imagine a world where you make a left instead of a right. Imagine a world where when you were supposed to try out for the football team, you don't make it here, but there's a world where you make it on the football team. Or there's a world where instead of trying out for the football team, you went and joined the band. And in all those different worlds, those life patterns skew in different directions. So, those are the different versions of yourself. Now, in this beautiful thing, you have somebody who's trying to destroy all that. Because you're able to travel from one universe to the next, a multiverse. So, that being said, I can go somewhere where I'm amazing. There's a scene, for instance, where you, it also has a very kind of Matrix vibe. Has that Matrix vibe where you can download the information from another entity and use it in real time. So there's a scene where she needs to fight. Jamie Lee Curtis looks awful in this movie, by the way. Fantastic acting, but she looks terrible. And I'm only saying that because those Jamie Lee Curtis titties in Trading Places, those were like some of my first pair of titties. You know, I hold her to, she stands at a certain place for me. She's in a certain spiritual, emotional, and physical kind of place for me. You know, she's my sexual nostalgia, if you will. We all remember those first pair of titties we saw. They were Jamie Lee Curtis's, and she does a great job in the movie. She's awkward, she's weird, she's fantastic. But there's a moment where she has to fight. Michelle Yeoh has to fight Jamie Lee Curtis, and she has to download this fighting capability, much like the way Neo learned martial arts in The Matrix. And when she downloads that information, she gets to truly feel what that person who has that talent in the multiverse, she gets to feel their life. She gets to enjoy their memories and enjoy that connection, enjoy that story. So when she realizes that if she had never married her husband, that she would be a famous martial arts star if she had never married the man that she now owns a laundromat with, it becomes somewhat consuming. You know, like, yes, and trust me, she whoops Jamie Lee Curtis's ass. She puts her head through a fucking wall because she sponges in, she takes in that talent. And gets to whip her ass. She becomes a martial arts master. But in the world that she's from, she's a martial arts master that's also, you know, an international Hollywood superstar. So, you know, she thinks about that. And of course, my girl was like, oh my gosh, I want that life. Of course you'd want that life. When you think of the option of, you know, having a family and living upstairs above, you know, your coin laundry, yes, I can imagine that sounds more desirable. So it definitely has that vibe of connection and things like that. Great martial arts, very silly concepts, definitely has a comic book vibe at one point. Now, to get from each universe, you have to do something fucking ridiculous, right? You gotta put your shoes on backwards and fucking start chewing on chapstick or something like that. It's some kind of random event that triggers the universal portal jump. It's a very silly concept. At one point, there are men who just have fucking things in their ass because they had to put something in their ass to do this portal jump. Then they're doing martial arts with things in their asshole. That's listen, if that doesn't make you want to watch it, I can see it not making you want to watch it. I can see it deterring you from watching it. I can see that. But yeah, there's a bunch of guys fucking doing kung fu and shit with things in their asshole, and it is blatantly fucking, yes. I mean, it's through the pants. It's through the pants. But yeah, there's guys fucking jumping around with things in their butt. Fighting for real. I can't get this shit out of my mind now. I can't get it out of my head. It's there forever. It is there forever. So yeah, there's that. But you got to do something utterly ridiculous. And in these utterly ridiculous moments, you can jump from one situation to another, and you realize that there are so many different universes, because every thought that you've ever had immediately spouts off into another universe. Any dream, any idea, any decision you made or did not make sprouts off into a whole nother timeline where you're existing in this world. There's one scene that everybody really loves. Everybody really likes the hot dog scene where they have hot dog fingers. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And if you're a person who's not into that type of shit, you're like, oh, this is stupid as fuck. But it stretches it to the point of showing you how far a universe can go. That's all that's doing. The movie is really, really well made. But what happens is that you realize that you're the person, and the people who are surrounding you also have these multiverse lives. She finds out that in one universe, she pushed her daughter too far, and her daughter became consumed with multiverse traveling, hopping from portal to portal, being able to do it at will. And guess how hard she pushed her daughter. And it broke her to the point where now her daughter wants to destroy the whole entire multiverse idea, because nothing really matters at this point, because she's seen everything in every universe at the same time. So it's a very, and I feel like while I say it, it doesn't make sense. But once you see the movie, you can kind of understand that. But what she does realize is that she's to blame. It's when you push somebody so far and you don't listen and you don't hear them, you don't see them, as a lot of people say. I know that's a very emotional kind of connection. You don't see me. When you don't see somebody, see who they're trying to be, what they're trying to do, and how they're trying to go to. Most people just want to be seen. I feel like that's what a lot of this fucking LGBT divisiveness with racism in our country, I feel like that is all spawns from a situations like that where we all just want to be seen. You're looking at me through your point of view and you're not even comprehending the struggle, the difficulties, the sleepless nights, the too much sleeping, the depression. All of those things are my life. And when you make decisions for a person and force them to be something that they don't want to be, it can be I can understand that being very, very overbearing. And sometimes even destroying a person. Suicide is at an all-time high. Depression is at an all-time high now. People use, there's online therapy, there's online counseling. We now in Atlanta, I think it's called the 988 number, where you can call for immediate suicide help. The suicide hotline's back. I remember that was a big thing when I was a kid. Now that's back. So it really addresses, the movie really addresses the concept of understanding someone, listening to their struggles, and listening with ears that are not waiting to respond. So many of us get so consumed with waiting to say our thing that we forget to listen to your thing. I'm not listening to you. I'm just waiting to talk. We've all done it, and not only have we all done it, we all hate when it gets done to us. It's one of those things that people just fucking despise. So, it really addresses that. It addresses listening to somebody who is going through something, trying to understand somebody that you have nothing in common with. You know, I have to imagine generational wise. I know me and my 15-year-old son, we're alike, but it's hard for us to have aside from cartoon, we have a lot of things in common, strangely enough. But generational wise, especially depending on the culture, you can be miles apart from your child, from your spouse, from your significant other, partner, whatever. You could be miles away from them and never even know it. So it definitely addresses that. It really focuses on the fact that there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on in this world. And because of that, in retrospect, a lot of that shit doesn't matter. I just watched this thing where this guy fills up a bowl with golf balls. Then he fills it up with rocks. And then he fills it up with sand. And each time he fills it up, he keeps asking the class if it's full. And you put the golf balls in, some rocks fall in there, and it's still not full. But it looks full. But then you put some sand in there, and the sand falls between the rocks and the golf balls. So then there's room, even more room in there. I thought he was going to put some water in there and do some other kind of analogy. But basically what he was saying is that the golf balls are the major things that are important in your life. Your family, your love, your trust, your necessities, the things that really, really make you who you are. The rocks are just things like cars, houses, just the random vacations, just random moments, things like that. And then the sand is everything else, just the bullshit. Arguments, traffic, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He says you put the sand in first, you ain't got no room for the golf balls. So you got to put the important shit first. who your family is, who loves you, who takes care of you, who has your best interest at heart. There's so many people who get so upset because of a person's actions, and you're so angry about a person's actions that you forget to concern yourself with their intentions. Now, if you're a teenager and your parents are telling you what to do, you're a little psychopath. You know, you can't compute that information, and I get that. But once you hit a certain age as an adult, you have to truly realize that a lot of things that people say come from a place of love. Unfortunately, that love is based in a place of ignorance, misunderstanding, misinformation. So you got to kind of figure out how to make those two meet, because we end up getting so angry and divisive, and we end up forgetting about one another just because I don't understand you. So that's really what the movie brings about. There's so many parts of us, and there's so much happening, and it's happening all at the same time. So you got to be considerate and kind of strip away the bullshit and see the people who matter to you in your life for who they are and what they bring to your life. Because essentially, none of this shit really matters. I'm going to do this and no one's going to watch it. Or maybe they will. But essentially none of it fucking matters. So you gotta be mindful of that. 4 out of 5, man. I'm giving it 5 fucking stars. That movie was fucking excellent, man. That movie was fucking excellent. It addressed real issues such as depression, family, the darkness that surrounds people and needing people to talk to, people who matter. And it addresses how people who don't know how to talk are just trying to figure it out. Parents do not fucking understand, said Will Smith before he was an asshole. They don't get it. So it takes them a minute to comprehend the best way to help you. But you got to talk it through, man. You got to talk it through. They used the multiverse and kung fu and great acting and intense scenes to really convey a world where we kind of see what we want to see and we let things happen the way we want them to happen. But if you take a step back and look collectively at the life of a person, the way they move, the way they think, the day-to-day things that affect them. And you also got to realize those are good times when you don't communicate. Let that be a learning. When you don't communicate well, let that be a learning process. Let that be a moment where you can say, hey, I don't understand what you're talking about. Let's figure this out. You don't get what I'm saying. Let's figure this out. I'm pretty sure we could do that to some capacity if we really, really tried. Not just in our own families, but throughout the country. That shit felt really inspiring, the shit I just said, but who knows, you know. I'm just black ass Tim. But yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once. Fantastic movie. 5 stars. A much more realistic version of the multiverse than what Marvel has given us. Marvel has given us the multiverse and time travel and zombies and magic and shit like that. And that's fine because it's a comic book world. I get that. But everything, everywhere, all at once gives you a real idea of how we treat each other as a whole. So love your people. Give them hugs. Tell them you love them. Even if you're bitching at them. Even if you're telling your kids to clean their fucking room. Tell them you love them. Be sure to, I love you. I love you. Say it. Say it 1,000,000 times. And let them know that when you do chastise them or discipline or at times in my house even harass, I'm on your ass. But I'm on your ass because I want you to be some kind of decent motherfucker. No, you don't have to be a contributing member of society. I mean, I find that every time somebody says that, they just mean they pay taxes. Most people are pieces of shit at their house by themselves. They found somebody to love them, and now they get to be that piece of shit with them. So, be tolerable enough to find somebody to love you, because it's going to be a doozy. I'll be at Dragon Con next week. We're going to be doing a big thing at Dragon Con. I'll be doing some interviews and some other things there. What else am I going to be doing? I got a show tomorrow at the Brownstone. None of you, I don't know who's going to fucking see this tonight. I don't know. I'm just doing a pitch like I'm on stage all the time. I do comedy. If anybody fucking cares, you can hit me up and you can book me. But yeah, I'm always busy. Click, link, subscribe, like, share, all that YouTube shit. And I'll see you soon.